guys, we are back, and today we are on day 13th on our Comptia Security Plus journey, and we are going to talk about SIEM. Okay, what is SIEM? And at this video, in addition to talking about SIEM, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and get your own SIEM tool for free, courtesy of Splunk. So we're actually going to go ahead and show you guys how to install Splunk. There's a lot of resources within Splunk that can go ahead and make you a Splunk ninja. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. Before we even get into SIM, guys, so this is a term you should be extremely familiar with if you're studying CompTIA Security Plus. When you look at SIEM, you should already know, hey, Security Information Event Management. Okay, security information event management. Okay, you're managing the events and the information with regards to your security. But I want to go ahead. I've been studying CompTIA Security Plus, and I don't want you guys to lose the forest for the tree. Okay, I want you guys to look at this from a big picture. So that's the reason why we're gonna go ahead and look at this slide right here. Okay, this slide, take a screenshot of it, remember it, memorize it. Okay, don't forget it. So this is extremely critical because this is there's levels to security. Okay, there's levels to security. As you can see, we start with data. Okay, that was literally our last video that we had. So remember, the data, okay, is gonna basically go into the SIM, our security information event manager, management. I keep saying manager, but management. That is gonna go to our SOAR. Our SOAR is our security, orchestration, automation, and response. And the SOAR is going to go to the SOC, Security Operations Center. Now, each one of these topics literally has a ton of information, and we basically be probably best to make a video for each and every single one of these topics because it is a lot of information. But I need you guys to realize this. Okay, data, SIM, SOAR, SOC. And to break it down and literally in a matter of 1 minute is just a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? But once again, SIM, security information event management. That's basically like your. Think of this in calibers. Okay, that is your small caliber. Okay, that is basically going ahead and getting all the data information from all your network to try to figure out if there's any vulnerabilities. It's going to go ahead and basically go ahead and alert you if something doesn't seem right, so on and so forth. Okay, when it comes to SOAR, the key word with SOAR is automation. Automation. So that's something that if the SIM says, hey, we found this vulnerability, you can program your SOAR to say, hey, if you found this vulnerability, I want you to take this action right away. Remember, SOAR stands for security, orchestration, automation, and response. Okay, orchestration is the key word because SOAR can have different types of, I don't want to say SIMs because that's its own thing, but SOAR is a higher caliber. Okay, and then you're so hopefully that makes sense. The difference between SIM here and SOAR here is that SOAR has the automation. SOAR is saying, hey, if we see this alert, this is the action that we're going to take. We're going to respond. And the another keyword is orchestration because you're orchestrating your security infrastructure to actually not only get the alerts but respond to the alerts. So you're starting to bring that flavor of AI, that flavor of automation. Okay, the next thing is SOC, and it's not the socks that you wear. It is SOC, which stands for Security Operations Center. Okay, and this is where they pay the big bucks. Okay, this is where they pay the big bucks, so to speak. SOC analyst. So those are people who are just like, hey, if we have an alert, right? So if we have some data and that data goes to our SIM and we get an alert and then it goes to SOAR, but it doesn't know what to do with this specific type of alert, or this alert is a little bit different, or maybe it even did take a response to that alert, but that alert has not been fixed or neutralized, so to speak. Then we go to the SOC. Then we go to the Security Operations Center. So this right here is kind of like I don't want to say like the Navy SEALs of security, but this is kind of like the mainframe, the basically the heart of the security, right? Because this is literally where they call it the operations center, right? And then it goes back to data, and it just kind of continues, goes and forward, and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, guys, data, SIM, source, SOC. We're going to talk about SIM specifically today, but I wanted to give you the forest, not just the tree. Okay, so make sure that you please take a screenshot of this, realize what exactly is going on here, so on and so forth. Let's go to SIM. What exactly is SIM, guys? Okay, so who better to explain SIM than Microsoft? So SIM, okay, as I mentioned before, security information and event management. SIM is short for a solution that helps organizations detect, analyze, and respond to security threats before they harm the business operations. SIM, produced SIM, combines both security information management and security event management, SIEM, into one security management system. Uh, Look at this right here. I'm going to pause right here. I promise you, you're going to get some type of question, and don't looking at this like, hey, what's the difference between a SIM and a SIEM? Okay, SIM, remember, that's security information management. SEM, security event management, okay, is just looking at it, hey, what's the difference between information and event? I want you to take this key away, because every time that I've taken a practice test and they ask what the major difference is, I'm starting to realize that when they talk about SEM, there's some type of action taken. Okay, where the security information is just information about your security. The security event, when an event occurs, think of that as some type of action. Okay, so if they're saying, hey, the difference between SIM and SIEM, one of them takes an action. Which one is that? Is that a SIM or is that a SIEM? You would go with the event management. For some reason, the event, that particular word, I associate it with action. And that's essentially what I've seen to be the correct answer when we're taking the practice test. So I'll just leave it there. So SIM technology. So you're basically combining both, right? Security information management and security event management. Information event. Okay, you're combining those together to create your SIEM. In short, SIEM gives organizations visibility into activity within their network so they can respond swiftly to potential cyber attacks and meet compliance requirements. Another one of these big ones, guys, is for a lot of those major organizations, they need a SIM in order for them to go ahead and basically be insured. That's one of those things where compliance comes and kicks in. In the past decade, SIM technology has evolved to make threat detection and incident response smarter and faster with artificial intelligence. Okay, guys. So with that being said, we have a better definition of what a SIM is. And let me go ahead and let me see here. I'm going to go to Splunk SIM logs. Okay. Logo. Let me see here. And that way you guys get a taste of what would it basically be. So this here, okay, let's see if we can zoom in this. So this here would be something where you would have that type of software where it's literally telling you, hey, this is your business analytics, internet of things, application delivery. And you start to realize, you start to basically put data in an interface where like where you can go ahead and start to realize things. So notable events, as you can see here, there's something going on here, that seven. So you guys can start to see that basically it's just taking data and information and putting it on a dashboard in order for a cybersecurity analyst to organize, not even organize the data, but to have organized data so they can view and have a bird's eye view of exactly what's going on. And this here is Splunk, which in this video I'm going to show you how to go ahead and download it. We're definitely going to have to make a part two after we figure out a little bit of training and whatnot. That way we can go ahead and get a better idea of how to utilize Splunk to the best of its abilities. With that being said, guys, hopefully that explains exactly what a SIM is. Remember, security, information, event management. It is basically, and there's a different types. Splunk is one. You had Microsoft is another one. I believe IBM has another one. Splunk happens to be the most popular one right now with a 60% market share with regards to SIM tools. So that's one that I would highly recommend looking into, especially since it's completely free. And I show you guys how to get the free version of that literally in this video. So stick around and we'll show you guys how to go ahead and do that. And that way you don't have to worry about it. And later on, we'll go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into it. But other than that, guys, hopefully you learned a lot with this video and we'll see you guys on the next one. Stick around. We're going to go ahead and do the Splunk, show you guys how to download that. And then we'll see you guys on the next one. We're going to go ahead and download Splunk. So as you guys can see, the web browser I use is DuckDuckGo. I'm going to go and type in Splunk. Okay, Splunk.com works well for me. Now we're going to go here and we are actually on the Splunk's website, as you guys can see. And this looks pretty good. I can always, I like to reject the cookies. Let's go ahead. So if you go to HTTPS, right, that is hypertext transfer protocol secure colon forward slash www.splunk.com/. Okay, remember what is this? This is going to go ahead and be our port 443. Make sure that you have something along this line so you're not downloading it from what would be perhaps maybe a fake website or whatnot. But nonetheless, we are on Splunk, okay? And what we're going to go ahead and do is when we go to products, we're going to go to, on the left-hand side, it says free trials and downloads. So we're going to go here, okay? And there's 3 of these, so do not get confused. It looks like they have a cloud, an enterprise, and a forwarder. So we're actually going to go ahead and get the enterprise. So remember, enterprise here gives us a little note. Download and install Splunk Enterprise Trial on your own hardware. So we're going to install this here on our own end device. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get click on Get My Free Trial. So let's go ahead and do that. We get our free trial. Basically, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to fill out this information here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'll make sure to edit the video, but you want to fill out your information here. This is one of the necessary steps in order for us to go ahead and actually get the Splunk free trial. So mind you, at the end of this video, I should be able to go ahead and show you how to use it for free. So it's not necessarily a free trial. You could go ahead and continuously, it's a perpetual free license is what they call it. So go ahead, fill this information out, and just make sure you're using it for the correct service. And in this instance, we're using Splunk Enterprise, and this is their version number here. And then we'll go from there. Okay, guys, so after you input your information, you're going to go ahead and get a download link. And you should go ahead, once you get that download link, you're going to click on it. You're going to see something like this. So check this box to accept the license agreement. Okay, we're going to go ahead and default installation options. So this is exactly what we want here. Run Splunk at a local system. There we go. So we want to run Splunk Enterprise at a local system. That's the key benefit of this, the enterprise version of this. Click create the start menu shortcut. We want to do that as well. Let's click next. So this here is going to go ahead and give you your username. So you have the opportunity to put your username and then your password, confirm your password. So I'll go ahead and do that you can do that on your own, and we'll go from there. So once you go ahead and you actually have gone ahead and typed in the previous information that it was asking, you're going to get to this page here. You're going to want to go ahead and click install, as we are installing the version of Splunk Enterprise on our own hardware, so to speak. If you guys can't tell already, it's not really that hard to tell, but I do have the Windows, and you're going to see something along those lines. I'm not sure if that's going to pop up on my video editor, but it's asking you, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your devices? Verified publisher. What does that mean? Verified publisher. Oh, certificates. And it says the verified publisher is Splunk Inc. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click yes. And now this is going to go ahead. It's going to go through the installing process. I'm going to try to fast forward this as much as possible. Okay, guys, so then ultimately at the end of this, you're going to go ahead and see something like this after it's installed. So Splunk Enterprise was successfully installed. Launch browser with Splunk Enterprise. Let's go ahead and click finish. We want to go ahead and launch this. So we want to launch the browser. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. There we go. Looks like we're getting somewhere here. And maybe not just yet. There we go. Okay, so it does take a little bit of time. Initial installation, you know how that goes. And there we go. So it looks like we got our browser going. I don't really want to restore any pages, so let's leave that there. We want this thing here that's running. And we're going to go ahead and type in our username and our password. So go ahead, make sure that you do that. And I'm going to go ahead and let me do that right now. Okay, so after you've completed the installation and after you've logged in, the very first thing I'm gonna do, you can do it. I recommend you do it within the 60 days. I'm rather forgetful, so I like to go ahead and do it right away. You're gonna go to settings. So settings, we're gonna go to licensing. Okay, so we're gonna go to licensing, and let's make sure that pops up. So this is going to go ahead and give you the perpetual free license. Remember, anytime you're using free software, you're not going to get all the complete entire benefits, so to speak. But I think for our purposes and where we are right now, this is perfect. So it can go ahead. We can get familiar with the system, so on and so forth. As you can see here, it says trial license group. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're actually going to change that. So remember, I went to settings. I went to licenses. I go to change license group, and this right here, there's an option here that says free license. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use this free license. As you can see here, use this group when you're running Splunk free. This license has no authentication or user or and role management, and has a 500 megabyte per day daily indexing volume. I got to really look and see exactly what that means, but this is how we get our free license here. So let's go ahead and click save. Restart required. The licensing group has been set to free license. You must restart Splunk in order for changes to take effect. And I'm going to go ahead and click on restart later. And one of the things I want to go ahead and have you guys look at, okay, so if I go back to Splunk Enterprise, is I'm going to be really honest with you. This is completely new to me. And anytime something is new to me, learning and getting into the nitty gritty, so to speak, is the best way to learn. So look at this right here. Right at the bottom, they say training and certifications. Become a certified Splunk ninja. So on here, they literally have free training. And I don't know about you guys, but I love me some free training. Okay. They have learning paths, course catalogs. Let's click on learning paths really quick. Some of these, I'm not sure if you're going to have to pay for these. See learning path by certification, find the right course for your job, so on and so forth. Expand your Splunk product expertise. Me personally, I like going to free training, and look, find free training, boom. Okay, and if we click on that, you guys can see that they're going to give you, I can imagine, some generic, hey, this is it, so this is how you use it, so on and so forth. Free courses. Look at these free courses right here: intro to Splunk, using fields, scheduling reports and alerts, visualizations, working with time, statistical processing. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys, this channel here is to document our journey, but I'm starting to find that there's a lot of I'm going to put this in the best and the easiest way possible. And if you stayed this long, I want to really give you guys a lot of value. Okay. Comptia Security Plus is a phenomenal certification because it gets your feet wet. It gives you literally a platter of X, Y, Z with A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, and 10, 9, 8. It really does go ahead and allow that atmosphere where it's just like, what would you do in this scenario? What is this known as? This was a previous famous attack. How would you mitigate it now? Do you know what an IDS versus an IPS versus a firewall? How exactly are they different? What access control list would you put for this? What port is this? What port is that? And it gives you a big overall view of the forest, right? However, when it comes to training like this, when it comes to training like this, when it comes to like Splunk certification or things of that nature, I think this is where you can really, really, really go ahead and stand out for employers, especially if an employer says, "Hey, we're running our organization on Splunk." And you have certifications, and you have videos showing that you can use Splunk, that you know how to use Splunk, that you can maybe potentially add value to their organization with Splunk, and maybe you know a little bit of coding, and you're like, hey, I can automate this. How are you guys running this? Hey, if we do this, we can go ahead and perhaps get a greater percentage of actual positives with regards to what we're being alerted with, or we can go ahead, let's try to focus on getting a 10% decrease on what would be false positives, so to speak. So looking into this, guys, I highly recommend it. I'm not sponsored by Splunk, but I'm starting to look at things and how the industry really works. Comptia might get you in the door, but Splunk might be one of those certifications that can also, in addition with your Comptia, can potentially get you in the door. And at the same time, guys, you start to build a really good skill set, and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, guys, look into this.